Here are 20 Jenkins interview questions along with their answers. These questions cover a range of topics from basic concepts to advanced usage and include code examples where necessary. 1. What is Jenkins and why is it used? Answer: Jenkins is an open-source automation server used for continuous integration and continuous delivery, CI/CD. It helps automate the parts of software development related to building, testing, and deploying, facilitating integration and delivery of code changes more efficiently. 2. How do you configure a Jenkins job? Answer: to configure a Jenkins job, 1. Go to the Jenkins dashboard. 2. Click on New Item. 3. Enter a name for the job and select the type, e.g., Freestyle Project. 4. Click OK and configure the job by setting up source code management, e.g., Git, build triggers, and build steps. 5. Save the configuration. 3. What are Jenkins pipelines? Answer: Jenkins pipelines are a suite of plugins that support implementing and integrating continuous delivery pipelines into Jenkins. They define the complete process of software development, from building to deploying, in a script file called Jenkins file. Example of a simple Jenkins pipeline: Groovy pipeline, agent any stages, stage, build, steps, echo, building. Make, stage, test, steps, echo, testing. Make, test, stage, deploy, steps, echo, deploying. Make, deploy, 4. What is a Jenkins file? Answer: a Jenkins file is a text file that contains the definition of a Jenkins pipeline and is checked into source control. It allows the pipeline as code approach, where the CI/CD pipeline is treated as part of the codebase. Example: Groovy pipeline, agent any stages, stage, build, steps, echo, building. 5. How can you trigger a Jenkins job? Answer: Jenkins jobs can be triggered in several ways: manual trigger, clicking Build Now on the Jenkins dashboard. SCM trigger, using poll SCM or Git hooks to trigger a job when changes are pushed. Scheduled trigger, using CRON syntax in the build periodically option. Remote trigger, triggering via Jenkins REST API or webhook. 6. What is the difference between declarative and scripted pipeline in Jenkins? Answer: declarative pipeline, a more recent syntax offering a simpler and more opinionated approach to defining pipelines. It uses a predefined structure with specific sections like pipeline, agent, stages, and steps. Scripted pipeline, a more flexible and traditional way of defining Jenkins pipelines using Groovy scripting. It provides complete control but is more complex. 7. How do you handle parallel execution in Jenkins? Answer: in Jenkins, you can handle parallel execution using the parallel directive within a pipeline. It allows multiple stages to run concurrently. Example: Groovy pipeline, agent any stages, stage, parallel, stage, unit tests, steps, echo running unit tests. Stage, integration tests, steps, echo running integration tests. 8. What are Jenkins agents/nodes? Answer: Jenkins agents, also known as nodes, are machines that run builds. The Jenkins master coordinates the builds across multiple agents, allowing parallel execution and distribution of workloads. An agent can be a physical machine, virtual machine, or a Docker container. 9. How do you secure Jenkins? Answer: Jenkins can be secured by enabling and configuring user authentication, using Jenkins' own database, LDAP, or third-party authentication. Setting up role-based access control, RBAC, to manage permissions. Using HTTPS for secure communication. Regularly updating Jenkins and plugins to the latest versions. Configuring security settings in the Manage Jenkins, Configure Global Security section. 10. What are Jenkins plugins? Answer: Jenkins plugins are add-ons that provide additional functionality to Jenkins. They allow integration with various tools and services, such as source code management, e.g., Git, build tools, e.g., Maven, deployment services, and notifications. You can manage plugins via Manage Jenkins and Manage Plugins. 11. How do you integrate Jenkins with Git? Answer: to integrate Jenkins with Git, 1. Install the Git plugin from Manage Jenkins and Manage Plugins. 2. In the job configuration, under the Source Code Management section, select Git. 3. Enter the repository URL and credentials. 4. Optionally, configure branches to build in additional behaviors, e.g., Git hooks. 12. What is Jenkins Blue Ocean? Answer: Blue Ocean is a modern user interface for Jenkins, designed to visualize and simplify the continuous delivery pipeline. It provides a more intuitive way to create, manage, and visualize pipelines with a focus on ease of use. 13. How do you back up and restore Jenkins? Answer: to back up Jenkins, you need to back up the $Jenkins_home directory, which contains all configurations, jobs, plugins, and build histories. You can restore Jenkins by placing the backup files into a new Jenkins installations $Jenkins_home directory and restarting Jenkins. 14. Explain the concept of Jenkins shared libraries. Answer: Jenkins shared libraries allow you to define reusable functions, classes, and scripts that can be used across multiple Jenkins pipelines. This promotes dry, don't repeat yourself, principles. Example of usage in Jenkins file: Groovy at library, my shared library, _pipeline, agent any stages, stage, example, steps, my shared function. 15. What are Jenkins build triggers? Answer: build triggers are mechanisms in Jenkins that start a job automatically under certain conditions. Examples include SCM polling, Jenkins checks the repository at intervals for changes. Webhook, external systems notify Jenkins of changes, e.g., GitHub push events. Scheduled builds, use CRON syntax to schedule builds. Downstream builds, trigger builds after another job completes. 16. What is the use of Jenkins environment variables? Answer: Jenkins environment variables are key value pairs that store data which can be used during the execution of a Jenkins job. They can hold information like the build number, workspace directory, and job name. Example in a pipeline: Groovy pipeline, agent any stages, stage, print env var, steps, echo, build number, $env.build_number, echo, workspace, $env.workspace. 17. How do you implement continuous deployment with Jenkins? Answer: continuous deployment, CD, can be implemented in Jenkins by setting up a pipeline that automatically builds, tests, and deploys the application whenever changes are made to the source code. Example, Groovy pipeline, agent any stages, stage, build, steps, sh, make build, stage, test, steps, sh, make test, stage, deploy, steps, sh, make deploy. This pipeline could be triggered by changes in the code repository. 18. What is the role of the Jenkins master? Answer, the Jenkins master is the central server that manages the configuration of Jenkins jobs, scheduling of builds, and distribution of builds to agents. It also monitors the execution of builds, collects and presents the build results, and manages users and plugins. 19. How do you configure Jenkins to build projects using Maven? Answer, to configure Jenkins to build Maven projects, 1. Install the Maven integration plugin from Manage Jenkins, a Manage Plugins. 2. Set up Maven in Manage Jenkins, a global tool configuration. 3. In the job configuration, under the Build section, select Invoke top-level Maven targets. 4. Enter the goals and options, like clean install. 20. How do you monitor Jenkins logs? Answer, Jenkins logs can be monitored in several ways, via the Jenkins UI, Manage Jenkins, system log shows recent logs. Accessing log files directly, Jenkins logs are stored in the $Jenkins_home/logs directory. You can use tools like tail to monitor these logs, bash tail f/var/log/jenkins/jenkins.log, using third-party tools. Tools like Splunk or ELK Stack can be integrated to monitor and analyze Jenkins logs. These questions and answers cover a broad spectrum of Jenkins topics, from basic setup to advanced configuration and usage. They are designed to help you prepare for a Jenkins-related interview by covering key concepts and practical applications.